Hey everyone, it's your boy, Main VR. Just here to talk about a few things that's been on my mind about the state of VR and one of some of the things that I think could help it. And I know some of you are probably looking at can help it. It's really popular now and blah 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 blah, which technically not true. I mean, so far, if we were to say what's sold, it's probably less than 200,000 on both headsets sold. Gear VR sold probably close to 1 million and everything like that. So we have those things. Um, but outside of that, not too many. You know what I mean? So we can't claim it's popular or it's, you know, gangbusters. And I know suppliers and things, but in all honesty, if they cracks 1 million by the end of um, between the VR, between Oculus and Vive, if they crack 1 million in that, I mean, it will be a blessing this year. So I don't see them doing that. Now the PlayStation VR, I do see that, cracking 1 million and probably thing, but then I see it's gonna peter out at that point is what I'm thinking of. And I say this as someone, as you know, I own an Oculus, so I want the success of this. And the thing that is holding back its success is not so much the products or the games so far, but in the presentation of um, VR to the public by the platform holders. Steam and Oculus themselves. They say to people, "Oh, the current game set." Well, before I get into that, let's jump into my list of 5 things here I think could um, definitely help or move VR forward in a more positive light. And what I was just about to get into and what I was just about to say is my number one thing. My number one thing is push to have VR mode in all games. Okay? This shouldn't be a game released from this point on if Oculus were doing their job right. There shouldn't be a game going from this point on the PC that doesn't have a VR mode. We should be able to play all of these games from start to finish in VR as we choose. The reason being that we're not able to do that is because you have Oculus telling these developers or these publishing companies that, oh, they want the best VR experience, but they're like, oh, they're not going to get the best VR experience. This is not what you want to do. You just don't want to just throw Call of Duty into VR, And I'm saying they're wrong. Yes, you do want to put Call of Duty into VR. Is it going to make people sick? Yeah, it definitely will. But are some of them people that are going to play it in VR not going to get sick? Also, yes. And on top of that, you're going to have some of the maybe the pro players that shine in VR in Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Become outstanding. And now you're going to have someone out there in a tournament playing Call of Duty in VR, and the whole public seeing this, and now it becomes this big thing in one of the most popular games out there instead of this niche thing that, oh, it's fun to put on in parties and so has it, but I'm just gonna go get this, and most of the games that are going to be made for VR now that we've seen are going to be mobile games because um, Daydream and Gear VR are going to be the two dominant things in VR going forward. So that's the first thing I'm saying. All games should have a VR mode. It's Oculus, get off your high horse, start going to these developers, you know, get a good locomotive, good control scheme, and just put all these games into VR. Everything from third-person shooters, so on and so forth. Okay. Next thing I have here is promote crossplay with non-VR players. Okay, so I'm playing in VR. Let's say I'm going to take Arc Evolve. Okay, and Arc Evolve is supposed to be having a VR mode put into it. Now, why that sounds good and it's going to be interesting. I don't care one bit about playing with a whole bunch of guys all in VR in Ark Evolve. No, I'm excited about playing with my friends who will be probably playing on Xbox One, but I'll be playing on my PC, hopefully in VR, while they're on their Xbox One. And I'm excited about that. The fact that I'm going to be in VR, but I'm still living it up in the world with my friends because none of my friends are going to buy any VR system anytime soon. They don't have a PC that can run VR, and in all honesty, they don't even want a PC that can run VR. They have no interest in whatsoever, and then to their mind, they're just going to wait till VR is like $200 for HMD before they even think about getting one. So that's which is a long way off. So Oculus, first of all, if you would get every game in VR mode and then make it open to cross-play with people who are not in VR, then that's a huge step because now your little circle of like say, you know, Eve Valkyrie, if you were able to play it in VR and also play the non-VR, and you would have gotten a bigger crowd of people playing this game instead of, you know, scrounging for matches and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? And I personally tried the game and didn't like it. But so you have one person in VR who's not even going to play that game, and you have less than, what, 100,000 people with your headsets out there. Who's going to play that game? You know what I mean? I guarantee maybe 10,000 of them sold. Because it wasn't a one-to-one, you know, attachment rate for that game. So, you know what I mean? All right, and next one, number 3, release low-end models. Crescent Bay. You know what I mean? Why not just release Crescent Bay if it works along with your sensors right now? Release a low-end model, just a 1080p screen, split in two, so it's, what is it? It would be 1080 by 900 or whatever, you know, so you just have that screen, and yes, it's going to be a lower image. Just do what Sony's doing. Just compete with Sony, I guess is what I'm saying. If Sony is releasing a low-end model, why don't you? Okay, you can release a low-end model on a PC that uses less specs than a high-end one in order to perform what it's doing, and run all these games at 90 frames per second, and just, you know, tone down the graphics a bit, give someone another compelling thing, and there's nothing wrong with having a low-end model. I think that's something you guys should definitely do. You guys already have it right there in Crescent Bay. Say just box it up, ship it out. All right, box it up, ship it out, get it out there to people. All right. Yeah, and this is some things that I would say the next two things is some of the things that are, I guess, is being done. You know what I mean? Internal development studios. Yeah, internal development studios, not just publishing. You know what I mean? And I guess that's one way of also, you know, but even someone in that sense is going to you as to be their publisher. You're not going to take that much risk as if you're totally 100% funding the game yourself. So unless, you know, I would say get some internal developers who you're funding the game 100%. You guys all, and you lead the way. You know what I mean? You make up your mind, we're going to do a first-person shooter, and then you guys sit there, do the research, do the everything to figure out how to do it, how to thing, and then when you put that game out, and if it sells and it's a hit, then you disseminate to the other developers out there how you went about it, how you did it. You know what I mean? Instead of just telling developers, hey, try this, and we'll help you. You know what I mean? Yada yada yada. I mean, like, you guys should be diving deep into this stuff. You know what I mean? And the only way to do that is to, once and for all, like, have your own developer indoor. You know what I mean? And there's instead, and I think it's this foolish mindset of which you guys have, which is We don't even know this type of genres that VR is going to give. We don't know, well, you know what, that's in the future, that's far away. Right now, you guys need to figure out how to give me a good first person shooter in VR, and that should be your number one job. You know what I mean? Don't try to create a popular genre, co op a popular genre. You know what I mean? First person shooters sell millions, okay? And it gets out to millions. So if you want people to know about your product, you have to go where the people are. And right now, people are with first person shooters. So get that done if you want this to succeed, because the further you try to come up with new genre, which you not really going anywhere, we're going to get 1,000,001 horror games. Not everybody's going to want to play that. You're going to get and they're going to get stale after a while. You're going to get these, like, I guess, explorer games, which is, god honestly, boring as hell. And I was playing Chronos earlier today. I'm just starting, so I'm not giving a review of it yet. But so far, I'm not liking it. But once again, I'm saying I'm not giving a review just yet. All right, so that's it. Build your own internal development studios, or buy out a studio. And I don't mean just buy out some random. Buy a studio that's semi-okay in first-person shooters, or semi-okay in whatever genre, role playing or whatever that you plan to do. Take out their next product, where they're going at, or you just go to a developer right now that's in the middle of making a first-person shooter and go, we want to add VR into your game. Let us help you do that. You guys should get on that. All right, and my number 5 seems really simple, but create a sport. All right? I mean, yes, this is VR. So competition level of things is going to get more intense, because now you're going to actually have these people themselves in it. You know what I mean? Which is going to bring a whole new view to the thing. And this is where you guys have so much opportunity here. You know what I mean? Well, first of all, and then I have to use an example, Rigs, that's going on the PlayStation VR. Now, what they're doing is brilliant, and I think Rigs is going to be their, if done correctly, will be their killer app. Because first of all, what I would do if I did that was, you have the teams, you start promoting teams, promoting tournaments and stuff like that. Put up some money for it, you know what I mean? Just to get that buzz going. So you give people a reason to start mastering this thing. And then make a spectator mode. I mean, like a true on spectator mode. Like where, say, people in VR, they can not spend money, but there's credits that you own in the game or whatever like that, and buy tickets to your favorite team to watch them play a thing. So we have set tournaments, set time when the game's going on, and you can buy tickets to that. You know what I mean? And then and you set up certain spots in the stadium where it's allocated to VR, owners or whatever like that. So that way you start building camaraderie. Like you look to a guy to your left and it's an actual guy, not a computer, and you go, hey, that was badass. I'm cheering for so and so. He's my favorite player. Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? You start to bring that atmosphere of a sporting event into a virtual world, and that would blow people's minds. Now, and also you can also have spectator mode where it's shown on TV too, you know what I mean? And that'll work just fine. But hey, that is just my little rant here of things. I say hit that like if you agree with most of what I have to say. I hope you don't, but you can hit that thumbs down too, and leave comments with things that you think. You know what I mean? Pick apart what I say as wrong, and we'll go back and forth, or even add a few things in here that you think, you know what I mean, would also be helpful. I think I want to start a good discussion, because the success of VR is what I really want. I want this to be a really big, viable thing. I don't want 2-3 years from now that this dies out because, you know what I mean, these producers couldn't get their head out their asses. You know what I mean? It might end up being something used by the military. by science and schools and stuff, but then us gamers get left by the wayside. So that's not what I want to happen. So these are the things that I think could make it popular enough that it would stay within the gaming vicinity, which is what we want. Right now it's in gaming, but that's not what they mostly want. Like HTC, their capital venture, it's not for games. You know, a lot of gamers got happy when they saw that, but you keep forgetting, you know what I mean? This is not a Valve product. This is an HTC product. And what they really want is commercial use. They want, you know, universities to use it in their medical department or whatever like that. They want workplaces to use it in their boardrooms and stuff like that. You know, for they want offices, businesses are probably going to use it for their employees that work from home, so they can get in and be at meetings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what HTC really wants. You know what I mean? The game, you know, they're using the game as an in, and they're using Valve's Steamware as an in, but they're also working on their own back, you know what I mean, back software. They, you know, it's a license. It's Valve's technology, but it's licensed to HTC, and they can do whatever they want. And gaming is not what their end goal is with it. You know, Oculus. Once again, yeah, we're lucky that they are owned by Facebook, because Facebook is a social media. They want to bring people in. It's not so much business on that end. So yes, they're going to have games and everything like that, but they're also trying to figure out ways of bringing people together. So, with all you people that hate the Facebook money, I think you're being really stupid and very nearsighted. But beyond that, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and leave comments below. I will read your comments. I will answer. You know, I mean, unless you're just straight out rude, I'll leave it there, but I won't answer. But you know, I mean, while I'm small, I'm planning to answer as many comments. I want to start discussion. I want to grow, and hopefully you guys will come along with me.